Howdy folks, I'm Autumn Witch and welcome to Bleeding Tree Gaming. And it is Christmas and I wanted to buy Warpfiend something that she would like. However, I know the size of her pile of shame means she would probably not get around to painting it anytime soon. So we had a chat and we decided that we would each paint each other a mini as well as gift one, so that it doesn't end up on a pile of shame. Now, I don't know at this point what she's got for me, but what I've got for her is the Archmagos Prime model, the new one, for the Horus Heresy. Now, she's spoken many times about how much she really wanted to start a Dark Mechanicum army to go with her usual heretical directions. So what I'm going to do, as I'm not the greatest painter in the world, what I'm going to do is kitbash something for her and then try a few new painting techniques to elevate it. But yes, so Archmagos Prime converted into something a bit more chaosy 40k. Let's crack on. The sprue looks fiddly, but the instructions look quite straightforward. I will be building it mostly to the instructions. However, I want to do something a bit different for the head, and I have some bits from my bits box over here that will make for some interesting additions. And here he is, built into a couple of sub-assemblies. Well, 3 anyway. Main body, gun number 1, gun number 2. Now, as I've built him, I have left off the head, and also the big cap that goes on here that has the Mechanicum symbol. So I want to replace that with something a little bit more heretical, or at least not as prominent. I mean, he's got this one. Focus, you shit. Yeah, he's got this one here. I just don't want him covered in too much loyalist-looking symbology. Now, I shall come on to like the conversions that I'm going to do on the actual model itself shortly. But the first thing I'm going to do, since he's already built, is I am going to take the 40mm base that comes with him and sand it, and sand the top. Now the point of this is because the bases have a texture which is really good for, you know, sticking characters and basing mix and stuff, but what I'm going to be doing is a lava base, and for a lava base I need a smooth surface, and so that is what I have here. Now you see me use cork a lot, and this will be no different. Essentially I want him striding across molten stuff that could be considered a forge, like he's in one giant forge, or he's heading across lava. Now this is gonna be sort of way to paint to shoot. Now he is a very delicate model, so I'm going to put those scuttly bits there. Tear off. Okay, and that will go there. And now there is just one more element that needs work, and that is here. Now you can see it's been modelled, unlike on ones here, that the spike is embedded in something. It's presumably meant to be the ground, but we don't really want him standing in the lava. So what I'm going to do is go into my bits box. And grab an old school Mark 7 Space Marine helmet. And I'm going to want this to be sticking out the ground. So, it will look like that. There will be a partially submerged Space Marine helmet in lava. That's where the base is at the moment. Now, what I'm going to look for are some more chaosy bits, which I have in front of me here. Got another mechanical tendril. I believe that's from the Hellbrute kit. Some panels. But the most important thing, I think, is for the head to be right. And, as you can see in the background over there, I picked up the Kill Team starter set and I have assembled my Death Guard portion. And amongst the head options, it's not showing up very well, but it's the one with the bionic half face. I'll have to trim this down, the bones upon the top. You know what, I'll just do it. And my camera can have a long, hard think about itself. There's the head, and I want it to go in there. But I'm going to need to clear some space for it. So this is the face that I have chosen. It's a half rotting human face and a half mechanically stuff held on by flaps of skin and boils and all sorts, which should go nicely with Warpfiend leaning towards Grandfather Nurgle. But it's going to be awkward to do this on camera without mutilating myself. So, I'll explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in here with the drill as a pilot hole, and then I'm going to come in with the bigger bit and open it out. I come to the conclusion that it was probably a bad idea to put all the little cables on before I was going in with the heavy modification, so I've taken those off and shall be reattaching them at a later point. That's a big hole, but hopefully I can modify the head well enough to fit it. My start is going to be removing these bony protrusions from the top and carving the area down. Okay, and so here he is. I've replaced one of the shoulder pads with a piece of scrap metal from an orc kit. I need to do something connecting the mask, probably some kind of piping, and a chaos spike hanging down from that shoulder pad. I think it's looking suitably chaosy. I will probably have to green stuff some kind of hood or something, but I need to cover up some gaps, and I'm going to be making some raggedy bits out of green stuff. I'll mix it up and then we'll crack on. As you can see, I'm using a lid from a plastic tub, and I'm rolling it out to a uniform thickness. I can then carve the pieces that I want off of this piece with a bit more control than if I were just taking blobs, sticking them on and sculpting them there. So yeah, there's a few tatty bits. I'm going to want some kind of hint at a hood or maybe some kind of smock to cover up just that gap there. And well, you know what, I'll just have a play about and see what I come up with. So as you can see here, I have been sculpting some lava flow. I believe it's called pyroclastic flow. Maybe I'm completely wrong. If you're a geologist, please feel free to correct me. So the plan is that we'll have like the narrow streams of the super hot coming in through here, with the rest being like a red blending into orange. And of course, around the helmet where it would naturally start to cool, at least while the helmet heats up. You can see I've put a almost like a like rotting flap of flesh. But what I'm gonna do is got this zombie arm here. What I will have, once it focuses, yeah, from the old zombie kit. But I think that if I sculpt an extra sleeve, for him to have an extra arm, which I can't really show you, but I've cut this into a vaguely triangular shape. So you can see, and it will come down both sides like that. I just need to do some more work on the sculpt. And so here he is with the extra arm in the sleeve. It's currently wedged in with the green stuff. I haven't glued it in yet, but I think that actually looks kind of cool. I'm just going to blend it in where I can. And this is what he looks like, finished on the build in front at least, and with a white base coat. And go for a Death Guard green on the cloak, something pale and sickly on the flesh, and the tendrils, the pipes, basically to make it look like they've been insulated with skin, because that's how 40k likes to be. What I have here are the polished silver and glittering loot metallic speed paints from the army painter. What I found out on my last paint job that I did with these is that polished silver, when painted over glittering loot, gives an absolutely fantastic aged metal, almost like a lead or pewter-esque, so it looks like tarnished steel, which I think is going to look really good. So I'm going to paint everything that's metal with the gold, and then I'm going to pick out the bits I want to be silvery with the silver to give it that aged effect. And there he is with the aged metal. I'll see you once I locked everything in. Here we are, and everything is locked in. It's not great coverage, but the usual technique of, where did I put it? There it is. Basically, he's now going to get, this is actually not the just the brown, it's a mix of the black, brown and a load of white spirit to thin it. An all over shade. There glazed, and it's just going to take some of that off. I'm not the world's greatest painter, but I know how to make something look cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cotton bud and put some white spirit on it, and if it will allow me to focus, I'm hitting the highest points and removing the enamel wash whilst letting the rest of it remain in the recesses and even sink into there if it's been reactivated enough. Also, I'm getting some ideas about what I can do with this. Yeah, I think I'm going to have smoke coming from like various parts of him. I've got a leaked pipe, broken pipe round at the back that I think is going to look quite good. You can see it here. It's going to look quite good with smoke coming from it. Now, you can see the power coils in the weapons. I'm going to go through all power coils and lights and everything, and I'm going to hit them with, if I can see where I put it, I'm going to hit them with Viejo Dead White. But yeah, I think he's looking really good at the moment. Okay, now I'm going to grab some of that, and I'm just going to, got to be a bit more gentle than normal here because, well, this is a much more delicate model than what I'm used to doing the dry brushings on. Okay, now while we're waiting for that to dry, let's make a start on the lava base. So, that knife nearly went through my foot. Red. So we've got Blood Angel Red, Baal Red, and Imperial Fist. And what this is going to involve is mainly a lot of wet blending. So, I'm going to start with the brightest colour, which will be the yellow. And it goes in the middle. Yeah. Now I've used a very glossy paint in the middle. And what it's going to do is pull away in certain points and give natural hot spots. Now I'm going to grab the Baal Red and I'm going to come in around the edges. Go over all of the rocks. As you can see, where it's pulling away, you've got that brighter section in the middle. Now it's nowhere near done yet, but it's providing a nice visual glow. Okay, now this won't be the finished base rim, but it's going to give like an elastic barrier around the base, so that the paint that's on top of it isn't gonna pull away quite so much. It will of course have my traditional black base, and it's present for Warpfiend, but she has seen the light and become the aficionado of the blackened base as well. It's amazing what you can do with a smudgy finger. Okay, now that is dry, it's time to block out the parts that won't be seen. Or won't be, it's time to block out the parts that the light wouldn't really illuminate, so it's the tops of these rocks, basically. And that's what he's going to be standing on, something vaguely solid. So I'm taking some good old Vallejo Black. I'm running out, I need to order some more, but hopefully the industrial action by the workers at Vallejo will be pretty much sorted before I need to do that. And it feels a little bit weird dry brushing black, but trust the process. So anything that overhangs, you can see underneath that is going to stay red, but anything that the light isn't directly falling onto that, I think, looks pretty good. There we are. Now it is time to go for the underlighting, so that when it sits on the base, that lava effect, get the glow on the robes and on the underside of anything that's in the direct path of the spray. Now the spray is going to come in. I'm going to show it here because I can't do it. Say spray, right? So it'll be sort of this sort of angle here, so it'll get onto the bottom and the undersides of the robes, and it will hit the underside of the sleeves, possibly some of the cables, and then I'm going to be glazing over that with an OSL effect from the lava base. Now I can't do this by myself because I am rubbish, so I shall summon Azure Wretch and dispatch them into the priming area. And there we are. It's a very, very subtle shading, and it's going to get a very thin glaze. Gonna start with Cassandora Yellow. Technique-wise, all light that is cast is weaker than the light from the source. Now we don't have the direct source because the light will be from around the perimeter, outside the perimeter of this base, but if we assume that it's the same degree of intensity, we can come up with something very sympathetic. We're going piece by piece on the lower half. Under the hand. We compare it against there. Yep, that looks good. Just thicker on the very extremities of the cloak. I apologise for the horrific state of my focusing, but okay. I'm building underneath pipes. Come on, focus. It's because I've got loads of crap in the background, isn't it? Okay, now I'm just going to grab a little bit of scale 75 intense yellow. And this is going to be the thinnest I can get it. It's time to put him on his base. There it is. Now I need to add a little red to the Cassandra yellow. Take some contrast medium, then mix that with the scale 75 colours. Gonna be a case of matching and layering on the very lowest parts. Now, doing this as a wet blend with the coat underneath not entirely dry, let's gravity help when it comes to the blend. As it's drying, I'm just going to go round and feather it as much as I can. This is where he's at now. I'm feeling that there needs to be a bit more black around the lava. So, that is what I'm going to do. But rather than go with a big sweepy brush, I'm going to go with a smaller one. And I'm going to come in and come round Okay, I have plucked this from one of the pads I used to clean up the excess. And there we are, we've got some smoke which I have dabbed with paint to make it look like there's embers and some of the smoke is catching the light from below. And I'm going to take a risk and call it done.
Oh, what we got then? Oh, requires a pair of scissors. Let me have a... Ooh.
It's got a safety catch. They saw you coming.
What the? Those are some weird scissors. I could have just pulled this piece of tape off.
You could have.
In fact, there it goes. Ooh, what do we have here? Oh, this is cool. This is the Heresy Dark Mechanicus guy?
Yep.
Ah, well, that's amazing.
It took me so long to get the OSL working on the
it looks great.
The lava.
Nice. Oh, well, thank you very much. That's awesome.